Today, probably more than ever, I am aware of, and you should be aware of, how everything is crumbling and changing at so many levels and in so many just little bits. First, I don't know why this gets me the most. I'm so happy. Neil Cavuto was a sniveling little pissant from Fox News who, for reasons I will never understand, never, he has not been renewed, and he will not be a part of the Fox News team any further. And the reason why that is so critical is that it goes to show you what we have been suspecting for a long time, that whether you want this to be true or not, there is a definitive red mark, so to speak, a black mark, red mark, whatever you want to call it, on the on your efforts if you stray from that which is the information which was involved in the last election. Does that make any sense to you? I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope it's making some sense to you. What it means, more than anything else, what it means is that when you are anti-Trump, and I remember listening with absolute fury after Neil Cavuto made, I mean, castigated people to the point of absolute opprobrium, this rudeness, basically indicting them for anybody who dared question the sagacity of the vaccine. I will never forget this as long as I live. Never forget this. It was unbelievably brutal. We'll talk about that. Mangione now hit with the feds by a charge that can land him the death penalty. F you, Louis. Fani Willis, again, is completely just disqualified. We'll explain that. George Floyd's heart. They're trying to stop and basically review the causes of death. I've never believed that Officer Chauvin was responsible. I believe that George Floyd died from an admixture, witch's brew of drugs in him, and that what he died was not from a knee to the neck. That did not choke him. That was not responsible. And also, did you hear a bunch of Wendy's? Wendy's stores have been closed. Wendy's? What is going on here? We'll talk about this. We'll talk about a lot of other stuff, and how the good news is, if for no other word. Oh, by the way, Mike Johnson's gone. You know, they're just going crazy. And also, look at all of the people at CNN who are leaving. This Gloria Borger, this Allison Camera, and I didn't realize this. They're all taking off. It is a great news in America, great news for freedom. But remember, first, dear friends, let me talk to you about something which is really critical. I guarantee you, somebody that you know, including you, has a problem with debt. You are absolutely overwhelmed with debt. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to feel. Nobody, you haven't robbed a bank. Businesses do this. This is life. This is something that happens. It's not out of your lack of moral, I'm still a little machine guy. I'm still trying. So bear with me. I'm almost out of the flu funk. In any event, irrespective, if you were in debt or know somebody who is, this is a message for you. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. My friends, this is a chance for us to really start to celebrate. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot. You're going to be talking about the budget build, and I think Mike Johnson's done. He's finished. He's through. You're going to be finding out in the next couple of weeks, you're going to be finding this incredible amount of information as to how bad Joe Biden is. Pilgrim says you're the salt of the earth, Uncle. Get better. I will. It's no big deal. It's just the flu, but thank you very much. I want to say this. This is the most incredible thing in the world. This is something which is so important to understand. The message of before the woke, radical left, anti-Trump, anti-Republican, it is not the official thought of America. There are people like our good friends at Libs of TikTok and others who are not grasping the fact that this is something, or that their view is something that is becoming lesser and fewer and more de minimis as the day goes on. Stoll says, in other news, Brian Stelter was rehired by CNN. Okay, there you go. We will see how long that lasts. But grasp this. Grasp this. And this is the most important thing in the world. This is the most important thing in the world. And I mean this. Recognize how we are winning, how we are absolutely blowing this thing apart. But remember something. Fox News is going to win by default, but I'm telling you this. If you think that they are there to tell us the truth that you need, you're out of your mind. Now let's also talk about something. Did you hear about Fani Willis? Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear about Fani Willis? Fani Willis. Did you? This is the part which I found to be absolutely incredible. And let me explain this to you. This is important. The case, no matter how you want to think about this, the case was a black woman, Soros-esque, DEI, nasty, absolutely nasty. Just absolutely. What am I trying to say? She was just, without a doubt, the most crudest, nastiest, snottiest. She showed absolutely no respect for anything. She had the most preposterous story of anyone. And what's interesting, this is the most important thing. What is the most interesting is that the court, the initial court, tried everything in its power, everything, and this is critical, to, how do I say this? It tried everything in its power to give her a break, to help her out, to do whatever they could to protect her, because she's black, because she's got a big mouth, and that's just the way it goes. And prior to Trump, you had this double standard. By the way, I hope you have received my email newsletter for today. Kind of like a PSA, if you think about it. And if you have not, you can go online. You can use that little check, little click. You can go on and see for yourself. It gives you kind of an update. Why she's not being referred for perjury, I have no idea, because she basically lied. But this snotty, arrogant queen of self-entitlement, she decided that she was going to just do whatever she wanted. Screw you. And you could see by her, I swear to you, it's like, watch the attitude, and I swear you're watching one of those arresty videos where the how do I say this? Where the, what am I trying to say? Where the, but people arrested. I'm still have a hard time. They won't get in the car. They scream at the cop. They yell at the cop. I'm not trying to say she's typical to these low rent, low tiered people, but it sure looks like it. It's that attitude. This is a woman who made up a story and lied repeatedly. She could have said, yes, this guy is my bitch. I pay him to be my paramour, as it were. He's my little biatch. I love these words. He's my little love slave. You got it? This is the part. He is my Nathan. This is the guy. By the way, remember this. My conturbinal Nathan. Let me remind you of something. This is a woman who's thought to be worth and have a net worth of $8 million. Beyond her $110,000 base salary, the arrogant princess generates substantial income through $12,000 speaking engagements and strategic investments, contributing to her $2.7 million annual revenue. Does anybody even remotely care about this? If this were a white Trump guy or a Republican, do you think that somebody along the line would have maybe said, gee, I wonder, maybe we should look into this? No, this is because you know and I know there's a double standard. So anyway, so she's out, but she lied repeatedly. She lied that she said that whenever Nathan, by the way, Nathan is the only guy who insists upon having a monogram barrel cuff. He writes his last name Wade. By the way, remember, stay away from any kind of monogram that you can see on cuffs, and unless it's on a shirt, and unless only if it's on a pocketless shirt, and maybe only if it's at the fifth button over. It's got to be it's almost like you can almost miss it. Very understated. And if you're really cool, you will have the monogram inside your shirt so that only you can see. Monograms are tacky. Trump will do it with 45. Okay, stay away from it. But if you're going to do it, monogramming your name, Wade, is just, what are you doing? Because he's a little boy trying to act like a big shot in this world. It was so ridiculous. And all she had to do was say, this is my little bitch. He's mine. And I paid him and I put him on my staff just because I'm boffing him. That's it. There's nothing anybody could have done. It's her choice. There's no federal law that says you can't do this. There's no law that says people working within agencies can't be whatever it is. It doesn't. So she created this because of her obstinacy. The fact that she just refuses to cooperate because she's Fani. Understand this? And the stories were ridiculous. He says, I never went there. They tracked his phone. They used that Stinger or whatever this device, whatever this tracking service was, that basically tells you exactly where you're going. So on a couple of occasions, I think one of them was 9/11, on I forget the year, they tracked him from his house to her where she stayed. I stayed. I don't live there. I stay there. I stayed where I stayed. Was that your house? No, I wasn't staying there. Why weren't you at your house? Because I was being threatened by motorcycle gangs and criminals who threatened my life. So who was there at your house then? My father. Your father? Your father? What? You left your father there? Oh, yeah. Not for me. I couldn't take it. I left my father there. You left your father. So wait a minute. So you were there and you stayed where you stayed at this other place where you went, lover boy. He used to have a garage door, one of those clickers where you could just drive right in. He hits the button, door goes up, he goes right in there. They would do the nasty, he would leave. So one night he says, I wasn't there. I don't know. And they tracked him on his phone. They tracked him using the same device, the same system that they use to track criminals that they've received or secured search warrants for, thus allowing them the opportunity to say, in essence, guess what? The very thing that you said doesn't work. We're going to use this as a basis to reopen the case and to contest my case from way back, because you just said that the critical evidence that was used in my prosecution doesn't apply anymore. Because she doesn't care. She doesn't prosecute anything. She couldn't try her way out of a paper bag. She's a figurehead. She's just this attitudinal, just this arrogant woman. I'm sorry. It's just, she's horrible. And she lied, and he lied so many times. He lied on his, during his, remember when he was making more money, he amended, what was it? He filed either an interrogatory or something regarding his expenses, and then he immediately withdrew it or something because he didn't include the monies he made from her. I mean, these folks were just, this was low rent. I don't know where they got these folks from, but there wasn't a sharp knife in this drawer. None. Remember the fellow, what was his name? The one who testified, who took like 30 seconds to answer every question. And then Nathan scrunches his face up. What? This is low rent. Maybe this is by Georgia standard. Maybe, I don't know. But this is ridiculous. So finally, her case is over. And guess what? The new DA is going to punt, drop, dump, and get rid of this case. It is a piece of garbage. It's through. So Trump's got really one more case to go. He's got the Judge Mershon case, which that thing is just going to end slowly. And then you've got that stupid Tish James case, which is really a civil case and nobody understands. You've got that. Trump is just winning. I mean, everything there is. But nothing could happen better than to get her, because she is absolutely horrid. Now, Mangione, Louis Testa de Mingue. Louis didn't see the federal rules coming. He's like, wait a minute, he just got hit with stalking, use of a firearm with murder. That has either death and or life or period of years as the maximum penalty. Sparky says, third-rate romance, low-rent rendezvous. That was a great Russell Smith from Amazing Rhythm Aces. Sitting at a tiny table at a ritzy restaurant. He was staring at her coffee cup. He was trying to get his courage up while plying booze. Talk was small when they talked at all. They both knew what they wanted. You're not my type, but I guess you'll do. Third, amazing rhythm aces. Two stuff to jump is the greatest. The one side, from Typical American Boy to that one side, is absolutely perfect. King of the Cowboys, one of the greatest songs ever. Russell Smith died much too young, an absolute genius. Thank you for reminding me of this one. Okay? Now, here we go. Let me see. Oh, yes. Mangione. This guy's going to end up did you see the people standing in front of the Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania courthouse? These fat people, I'm sorry, not they're fat, that's really matter, but they're looking up there and they're holding up signs. They're yelling about health care. They couldn't spell health care, much less care about health care. There's something very wrong about this. I don't want to make fun of fat people, but you know and I know. Now listen, all my life, I was told, well, I'm just a fat kid. Well, so I know what that's like. And unfortunately, the reality is that, and this is important, when you are really overweight, I mean, we always think we weren't as bad. Have you ever been on a scale and all of a sudden you say, what? Remember the old joke? Hey, they have this new voice powered scale. It says, hey, one at a time. Anyway. Well, when you see people who are standing outside, but who aren't just fat, but look like a slob, that's a different story. And that is the thing which is the most critical. And there are these slobs standing up with signs about healthcare or something because they don't have any flower to land on. They're a bee looking for something. And you're going to find him just go away. He's going to go in. They're not going to cover the case. It doesn't have enough juice. Just like this stupid Diddy case, just like the Jay-Z case. And watch how they go after this lawyer Busby. I'm throwing everything at you today. I'm just letting you know. Watch how they throw everything at this lawyer Busby. He doesn't know what hit him. He thought, okay. You know, these people don't have insurance policies. They're not like a big company or whatever that where you're going after the insurance policy. Okay. There's no bad faith legislation for rap stars. And they are just milking this case for all it's worth. Unbelievable. Wait to hear also the allegations, don't know how true they are, that Jaguar was in cahoots with Busby. And he says, that's crazy. And the word is she's got, I don't know if this is true, recordings of her talking to him. Watch what happens with that. Sparky says, is Luigi Mangione seen as a modern day Guy Fawkes? No. Will there be a Luigi Mangione day? No. Guy Fawkes, my arse. Most people don't know who that is, but he will not be. Remember the whatever, December or whatever it was. No, absolutely not. They don't understand. Why? Because he looks, they think young or handsome or whatever. Don't you understand? That has nothing to do with his message. Let me give you an example, Sparks. I give this all the time. There was a woman named Carla Faye Tucker. Carla Faye Tucker was a woman sentenced to a death row, and she hit somebody with like a pickaxe or some, just brutal. It killed this guy. She was on death row. It was brutal. But later on, she had curly hair and she smiled like this and she did hand dancing and all this stuff. And she just did all this. And she found Christian. And everybody, the Pope, everybody liked her. Why? Because she was white. She was Christian. Now, if she was some 300-pound black dude named Mustafa who found religion, namely Islam, forget it. Ain't going to happen. That's the part that killed me. And George Bush, I wasn't really a big fan of his, was saying, oh, poor thing. It's like the jury spoke. They were there. Did you know what she did? I'm not gonna grant clemency. Why? What the jury? I don't. And in as much as I am against the death penalty, I hate this. I hate when we go crazy over, well, that's disgusting. Well, that's horrible. He killed a dog? What? It's just like the way people have these weird ideas about kids. You can do anything to kids today. You can do anything, and nobody cares about them in the least. Thank you, Forrest. Thank you, Forrest. The laugh. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Okay, now, I want to go back again and tell you something which is critical. I really hate, as much as hating as possible, the left-wing media and these. When Clarissa Ward was caught red-handed, you have no idea how that made me happy. What a fraud. You saw about the Syrian butcher that she's making this shit up. Or she made it up. She never said, are we sure that? And when she found out this guy was a phony, did she come forward? No. You should say, excuse me, yeah, listen, that story about the Syrian guy, take it all back. That would be even more honorable. Can you imagine that? Somebody actually calling back a station said, we made a mistake or it was wrong. And that's it. So thank God she's gone. Then there was, I think, Gloria Borger. And then there was another one too. Oh, there was Cavuto, thank God, because he's a rat bastard. I just cannot stand him. Another one too was, you notice how this slimy, slippery Fredo Cuomo on that station nobody watches. This guy is the worst. He has no morals. Anybody who uses fake weights is another story. Anybody who sits there and goes, yeah, I got 100 pounds. I don't know what you need in this country to understand. It's over. It's over. If we want to find something out, we are not going to go and wait at the hour for the Faulkner focus or Jake Tapper. It's over. It's over. I know people said one time, oh, there's always going to be newspapers. Did you ever find a newspaper? If I didn't see, there's at the local, our shoe repair shop where they have a shoe shine. If I didn't see that there, or my friend, the tire dealership, there's a newspaper, I wouldn't see them. We don't even have newsstands. We used to have all the papers. There's no newsstand. And there was a time when people said, no, you don't understand. Paper's always going to be here. I said, no, they're not. No, they're not. It's done. Okay, let's move this. Nobody wants to hear this pretentious and this Caitlin Collins, or I always got her in that basketball. That's another one. I'm so through with her. I was 100% behind her until she pulled that nonsense about, I got white privilege. That's it. I am so sick. I am so sick of that. I am so sick of, I guess it's identitarian nonsense. I'm black. I'm trans. I'm this. I'm so sick of it. And I've been sick of it my whole life. There was a time when I first started in talk radio where we used the word PC, where it kind of came up. PC was nothing compared to this. This is ridiculous. Now, another thing, and listen to me carefully. There is going to be some resolution, this is important, to whatever this drone stuff was. You understand this? There is something that is absolutely, positively critical to understand. That's not going anywhere. And I'm going to say this again to you, and I'm going to bring it up to your attention, and I'm going to tell you this. And I mentioned it this morning, and I'm going to mention it now again. If I were the bad guys, I would say we're going to derail that inauguration. And all it takes is, we used to have that sometime in college, some fool would call in a bomb threat. It was terrible because of an exam. thought, who would do this? But they did it. Every now and then somebody would call. This is before, of course, caller ID and everything. But they would sit there. And how is this? Well, first of all, any kind of suggestion about nuclear anything, or nuclear, as people say, would get their immediate attention. The garbage started with Obama. No, it's before then. The garbage, you can't give. You were going to find Obama as being more, dare I say, elusive and not as much of a problem as you thought he was. Obama is, you're going to say, the Obama regime, the Obama years, but you're not. You're not going to say that it was Obama. Obama is in charge of nothing. Obama, listen to me, is dead after Jojo and Skemala. You know they're going to pay her $20 million. I heard $20 million for a book. Did you hear that? You know how that works, right? $20 million. Who was it today? Colin Rigg, whatever, mentioned it. I don't know if it's true or not, but you know how that works, right? You will always be paid on the back end. See, that's why the thing that Biden said, Biden was such a crook, he couldn't wait. They told Obama, just wait, sign our stuff, Obamacare, which was basically written by the insurance companies, by the insurance industry. Just go ahead and do that. Please, we beg you, okay? Go ahead and do this. Go ahead and but we will pay you on the back end. Sparky says stewardesses would call in bomb threats in the old days if they were late for their flight. Wow. There you go. So what they did was, thank you, Sparky. And what they did with Obama was when he quit, he and Michelle, they both each got a book deal that nobody ever saw the book. Nobody ever saw. I think you saw maybe at an airport bookstore, or maybe like at a train station, and her book was written by a dreamy-eyed girl talking to her diary, I'm feeling great today because I'm going to go out and seize this. Like, what are you talking about? The sociologists, psychologists of tomorrow are going to have a field day with our time, among others. Oh, absolutely. But you know who they're going to be most interested in is us. We are the subjects, not government. We are the ones, no. So what they did with Obama, and thank you, by the way, what they did with Obama and with Michelle, what did they do? They gave him millions of dollars for 2 books that nobody read. They gave him a Netflix deal, developmental deal, Spotify, this and that, whatever it was, speaking deals, plus deals and money you can't imagine. Also remember too, I found this out, that a lot of times you'll get gifts from people. A gift, not cash, but a sword that's made of gold or something that's worth a couple of million or whatever it is. They will get watches, watch collections, pens, coins, everything you can imagine. Everything you can imagine after you're done. It's okay. The payback is always guaranteed on the back end. A lot of these actors and actresses with bad drug problems who couldn't get any jobs because they couldn't handle the insurance, they would have a deal where they would get their money in the back end, or foreign, but anybody, they would forego any immediate payout because they couldn't be insured. Well, that's kind of what this is. So this is beyond corrupt. Now, the thing that has to be done is, let me go back to what I'm saying. You've got the Amazon, they talked about an Amazon, strike. I don't know what that's going to be settled, but that's up. January 15th is the date that the dock workers pick up again. Remember, all of the deal, all of the money, all of the stuff came from the Democratic Party. They own unions. And they better come through and absolutely follow through with this, or there's hell to pay. So keep in mind that. So just imagine what it would look like if on the 20th of January, on that particular day, there is this, we have breaking news. The Parks Department, Capitol Police, Federal Event, the DOJ. Remember, Trump's not president yet. We have real, confirmable, identifiable, and accurate reports of threats involving threats at or about the nation's capital. And out of an abundance of caution, we're going to have to rearrange, stop, interrupt, suspend, postpone. And then the other stories are going to be how people are canceling en masse. And then you're going to see other MOS, or man on the street, interviews. Well, I'm not going to go there. No way. Why? What's in our mind? The drones in New Jersey, nuclear detection, nuclear. Remember how this thing works? All of these wonderful stories all play a huge part. And that's not it. They're not going to go away. So I hope somebody goes out with all of the Doge stuff and understand we need a Tom Homan to scare the scheisse out of these people and telling them, don't think for a moment that you're ever going to pull a Black Lives Matter, an Antifa, or anything even remotely like that ever again. Don't think like that for a moment. And the realization and the reason for that is, of course, why I tell you about preparewithlionel.com. Again, there is something that is how this is being done. I'm realizing, oh my God, this is terrible. I don't want to say I told you so. I never want to say I told you so. I never want to ever do a show when there's people freaking out and stores have been closed for whatever reason because of either supply chain interruptions or whatever. I don't want to be in the position where I actually say, well, I told you, just like I said. I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. I hate I told you so. I hate. Are you listening to me now? I can't tell you how many times I've been right over the past, but people will rebuff me and refuse to listen to me because it doesn't suit their version of what things should be. And right now there is a 4-week emergency food supply kit. That is the best deal of them all. So act now before the end of the month for the specials. This is huge. Nobody's going to make you do this. Nobody's going to say you have to prepare for a disaster. But I promise you, something is going to happen because they want to also make you pay for not having gone along with Guatemala. Don't think. And remember, nobody in Washington will know anything about it. Okay? They'll have explicable deniability, plausible deniability. They'll be able to say, wait, that's not us. It doesn't work like that. And by the way, I'm going to say this one more time also. Our good friend Mike Lindell, remember how he has been fighting these bastards since day one because he wanted to have a product, he wanted to support President Trump, and he dared to say that he believed that the 2020 election was bogus. And it turns out and we talked about it for a week. We talked about it, well, not for a week, but for a while. And then what I'm saying is this new information that came forth, which everybody said, wait a minute, this is the example. Did Josh Hawley talk about it? No. Did Ted Cruz talk about it? Marsha Blackburn or John Kennedy, they're on judiciary. Did anybody do it? Jim Jordan? Was there any special hearings? Why do you think that is? Why do you think nobody said, that Mike Lindell was right? Why do you think? Why? And they're going after Dinesh D'Souza, trying to say, well, he has to apologize for something. I say, excuse me. You don't apologize for anything until they apologize for all of the votes and all of the stuff that we saw flat out being burned and the like. So in any event, mypillow.com, Promo code Lionel. It's our friend, the great Mike Lindell. God bless him. Okay? Kelly, thank you so much, Kelly McKinnon, super sticker. Thank you for that. Now, something is happening also, which is so fascinating. I don't even know how to say this. Let me see if I can. You are going to see a revolution, the likes of which you can't even imagine, when it comes to the country finally realizing, finally getting the idea that there is a new theme and a new everything in town. You hear what I'm saying? Eduardo Camilo, thank you so much, Eduardo. Thank you, sir. When you finally realize this, when people finally realize, it's still. Now, I want to tell people that there are folks, and God love them, Colin Ray, whatever, and a lot of these great libs of TikTok and others. I want them always to let us know, and they have been indispensable in letting the world know about this lunacy, this sheer and unmitigated lunacy. I understand it. And they have not at all been, how do I say this? They have not been shy, so to speak. But I want you to understand what really is going to be interesting. One of these days, you're going to look back and say, the second Trump changed everything. The first Trump was there, but he wasn't really ready. He wasn't ready as much as people think. He was sort of, he trusted too many people. He believed too many people. He thought that everybody, like John Bolton, I know Sparky's a big John Bolton fan. He had no idea who these people were. He believed in who they were. General Kelly, General Mattis, remember that? Oh, they're Marines. He believed this pile of shit because they were just, he didn't understand how the military-industrial complex works. If you said to him, they want a one-world government, he'll look at you like, what are you talking about? Because everything that we used to call, or you used to call, conspiracy theories, turns out to be true. He didn't understand it. And they came after him in 2015 when he came down that escalator at Trump Tower. They went after Carter Page. Where's Carter Page? Where's Papadopoulos? Where are all these other people? Whatever happened to them? Carter Page, I thought, he is going to own the FBI. Maybe they settled out of court. They kept quiet. They went after him. Roger Stone, anybody around him, radioactive. Alex Jones, right? And they got you. They shut down your platform. They shut down everything. They shut down they got you on Twitter. They got you on YouTube. But people like Jack Dorsey, they said, whatever you want, we don't care, one way or the other. You want us to shut them down? Fine, that's it. It was the worst time. It was like, I don't want to say it was like Soviet, Stalin or anything. I don't think it was that bad. But if ever, it's as close that we've ever been. The thought police, the thought vigilantes, it was there. And then COVID was the thing. That was my multiple red pill moment. I can't believe how people reacted to it. Still can't believe that. Now, let me tell you something. If there ever is another monkeypox or zoopox or smallpox, whatever it is, I promise you, they're going to say, we're going to do this. We need this. And the Faucis are going to look at you and say, see, nothing's changed. We trained them well. And you're going to go to CVS or Walgreens or whatever it is. And you're going to be hearing this. And you're going to be getting all your little mentions on your phone. This. And I'm telling you, don't think for a moment we've learned anything. I've never, I just, because you mentioned before, sociologists and psychologists. You have no idea what they're going to study about us and how silly we were. I remember, my problem is not with the government. I know what they're going to do. I know what Mike Johnson is a double agent. I know that. We've seen this before. Mike Johnson said, well, we've had to stop it. Do you know how many times the federal government has been shut down? Any idea? Oh, look what I'm doing. I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure. Times the government has been shut down. Okay. Anybody have any idea? Anybody have any clue? How many times? And you can just guess if you want. I mean, that's no fun. If you don't know, just say, I don't know. Why do you think? What do you think? Once, 10 septillion. Once, 3. No. 7. No. No, this is good. What do you think sounds right? To shut down the government, 14? Nope. None? Nope. Absolutely not. Not enough? That's interesting. In terms of budget shutdown, budget reasons, 10, and total reasons, 21. Did you notice that? Do you remember this? Do you recall when everything shut down? As my good friend Mark Simone, whose show I will be on tomorrow, says, he said every Friday afternoon, or actually Thursday afternoon, the government shuts down. There's nobody there. There's nobody there right now. I don't know what they're doing, but the idea that the government shut down, what does that mean? What happens? What do you mean the government shut down? What does that mean? And they're doing this deliberately, obviously, to wait. So anyway, so they're scaring you, but ask somebody. Make sure tomorrow, what does it mean to shut down the government? What does it mean? Nobody knows. And they know exactly what they're doing. And Trump, I think, is playing this great. And they're also coming after Elon Musk. National Review is really, I thought, I don't know if this would be something that old Bill Buckley would be a part of, but they don't like, they think that Bobby Kennedy is fraudulent, and they really are just, I don't know what they are. Because remember something. There is no Democratic Party, so there are no fundamental differences among the parties. There's not the hard left, the moderate left, the far right left. No, it's just whatever these people are. And they really don't really have a lot to say other than the fact that they hate Trump. And that's about it. That's precisely all they care about. That's it. Republicans are the worst because there's so many versions of this. You've got the libertarians. You've got the moral majority type. I'm giving them old names, obviously, from the past. Let's get the moral majority. Then you've got the gun folks. You had the Tea Partiers before. Remember that? And then we had before that, we have the folks who are the more kind of the budget, fighting folks, just the usual prototypical. So there's all these groups of people who go out of their way to basically argue with each other. And there's this hardcore paleo conservative. I don't know where these people stand. I think, I don't know. That's the problem with the Republicans. And what the president has to do is to make sure the word goes out. If you, as we say, F with me, left or right, I will remember you and I will do everything in my power to destroy you. Lyndon Johnson was known for his absolute brutality, like nobody's business. He was absolutely incredible. And there's something about it. Somebody who thought as much about destroying people that messed with him as he is in helping people and appreciating people who went along with his particular program. You got this? Terrific. Now, let me ask you something. Right now, as you speak, what particular means of protection do you have from prying eyes, from folks stealing and sucking up your information? Have you ever seen what you can do with a VPN when it comes to getting different airline tickets and pricings, what you can do if you appear to be from someplace else? Have you ever investigated that? Where could you go to investigate this? I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you checked your devices for malware? Malware attacks have increased 643% since 2020, with approximately 10 million personal and corporate devices compromised with data stealing malware in just the last year alone. Additionally, 19.8% of computers face at least one malware attack annually. This emphasizes the critical need for individual users to protect themselves, their devices, and their data. This is why I use today's sponsor, Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro, and I love the peace of mind it gives me. Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro is an award-winning antivirus with real-time protection, malware removal, ad blocking, scheduled scans, multi-device protection, and more that stops malicious downloads in their tracks. Without Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro, I would risk my finances, banking details, personal data, and more getting into the hands of cyber criminals. Thanks again to Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro for sponsoring today's extravaganza. And do yourself a favor and sign up for a free 7-day free trial, of Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro during their early Black Friday sale happening now, and get up to 75% off. Yes, you heard that. Up to 75% off. Only at virtualshield.com/Lionel. Once again, that's virtualshield.com/Lionel. Now, my friends, it's just, I was reading this about Neil Cavuto. They are saying, suggesting that he decided to leave. He decided to step down. Let me tell you something. Believe me when I tell you this. Nobody gives up that Fox gig for anything. It is the easiest thing in the world. Why he's being shit-canned is by virtue of what he said, unstopped, uninterrupted, when they thought maybe this Democrat dude can win, because that's what the Murdochs are. They just, wherever the wind is going, that's what happened. Our good friend Sparky says General Kellogg doesn't seem much better. He may mean well, but he seems to believe MSM narrative if it matches the CIA narrative, not realizing the CIA is who supplied the MSM with the narrative. I don't even know where to tell you to start with that one, my friend. I was talking today to a friend of mine who is I guess you would call him a conservative. Yep, Keith Kellogg, yeah. And I sat with a friend of mine, good guy, good guy, and I said, the only thing I take an offense to is when this government basically handed Ukraine a pen and said, here, fill out the amount. We'll give you the blank check, and you just write the amount in, and everything's fine. It's that simple. Just write in the amount. Write it in. Write in the amount. That's it. That's all you need. Whatever you want, just write it in. People said that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. That's exactly what happened. Because people were into that Russophobic thing. So I was talking to a friend of mine who's a conservative. I've been a Fox conservative. And he said, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, what's the difference between that and handing the pen to Bibi Netanyahu for him to keep telling you this story about the idea of that we have to destroy every living Palestinian because of Hamas, and how Hamas has destroyed everything that is good in the world, and Hamas is Iranian sponsored, because Iran sponsors everything. I said, how long do you think that trope, that meme, that tropism is going to be also maintained? Look at me. So the problem that I have is that whatever you talk about CIA or anything even remotely along those lines, what you have to remember more than anything else is that they know nothing about the CIA. The CIA, to them, are the good guys. NATO are the good guys. The UN are the good guys. When you talk about, this notion of New World Order, they don't know what you're talking about. Sparky says Lindsey Graham still has president's ear. Not good. Well, I don't know about that because he's also voting against RFK Jr. Now, somebody along the way has made Lindsey a deal, and they told Lindsey, it's okay, you won't lose your position. Bobby Kennedy Jr., there are two symbolic poll stars of this new group. And let me ask you what you think. Number one, Bobby Kennedy Jr., and the second, Elon Musk. Now, I told you one time, I got a very sick feeling of the day. If Elon ever goes rogue and doesn't get what he wants, if he pitches a fit and says, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, that loss of something could prove deleterious. Does he hold too much sway? I don't care. Are we going to win? Yes. Is Elon perfect? Perfect for what we need him for. Perfect for what he said. So the two people, bellwethers, poll stars, whatever you want to call them, are RFK Jr. and Elon Musk. RFK is a dream to them. RFK to the, not the anti-vaxxer group, they've always given, remember, that's the wrong word. It's like conspiracy theory. People have never, ever, ever questioned the efficacy of vaccines. They've never done that. They've questioned what's in them. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. Whereas the left will always stop or attack, if you will, guns, no matter how they're used. Not for any other reason other than we just hate them outright, if that makes any sense to you. Does that make any sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? See, because the thing is, you got to understand, there's no such thing as the left. They don't exist. The left doesn't exist. The left doesn't exist. Did you hear what I said? The left doesn't exist. And here's a question also. We have to, speaking of which, one of the absolute worst selections for Trump. I don't even know why he did it. I have no what's going on, but he does it. The thing that kills me about Trump is he comes up with this wonderful thing called Zeb Gorka. I don't know where in the hell that ever came from. Where in the name of God did he ever get, does he understand what kind of a jadrul this man is? I guess not. Far be it from me. As long as this guy is not going to go out there and say something stupid that countermands or contradicts or hurts our way of life. Now, I understand this, and I think Sparky and many people here will realize this, recognize it, that when it comes to foreign policy and international relations, my views of the world are completely different than anything you've seen. And it's not uttered, never will be uttered. As long as Jack Keane is on Fox News, I guarantee you, unless Maria Bartiromo has, military stock or something, why she has this guy on, I have no idea. She has no, it's like they live in another planet. They're okay here domestically. They're okay when it comes to taxes. They're okay when it comes to things like, taxes and or trans, gender. Yeah. If it's obvious, they're terrific. But if it comes to something that is a little bit more complicated, forget it. You should go every day, check out InfoWars, check out Global Research, check out Zero Hedge, check out Lou Rockwell, check out RT, check out as many foreign and different people, and then triangulate back. Breitbart has been terrific. Gateway Pundit has been terrific. Epoch, or Epoch, as they call them, Times is great. Go through this. Just National Review, sometimes that's the paleo-conservative view. That's a whole other story. Make sure you peruse very quickly the subject matter of Drudge. Don't go into detail, but just kind of see where that's going. Just kind of get an idea for that. You must start off every day with X. I'm starting to say X now versus Twitter. Go to the news and trending section. Find out what people are talking about. Sometimes what they're talking about is manufactured, but if that's what people say they're talking about, that's where you should go. Always make sure you follow the fluctuations of the murmurations of the people. Don't be caught off guard. Pay attention. Remember, just stay away from Fox News, Newsmax. This is like the difference between a gummy bear and a bear. Does that make any sense to you? They're kind of alike, but no, in substance, and they know what they're doing because this is as far as we're going to go, because our role is not to make people think about stuff. No. It's to make people understand specifically, this is what we want you to know. And what we want you to know is consistent with the prototypical paleo-conservative, very easy, low-hanging fruit stuff. Nothing that ever questions Israel, nothing that ever questions anything that says that maybe we're becoming a tad too Russophobic when it comes to Putin. Never. Now, I don't know what kind of a deal the Murdochs have with either the company or the agency or this. I have no idea. But you know and I know these guys are done. There are so many great pieces. Alex Jones does still the best stuff to make you at least think in a direction you ever heard. I don't care whether you like him or not. It's just like Joey Ramone and the Ramones, whether you like him or not, were important in adding a little kind of a directional switch to the American music scene. It was critical. Same thing for the CBGB's crowd. I wasn't a big fan. Talking Heads, they had some good stuff. Harry, Blondie, yeah, but they were important. They were critical. Look at Alex Jones that way. I don't care what it is. He was the first guy to let people. And he, by the way, watch his early stuff. He was a savant, so much smarter than the average bear. So just remember, you are never going to get anything that remotely is the truth, unless it's safe. No hit, no runs, no errors on cable news. Never. If it's on cable, forget it. You've just eliminated half of it. You understand this? Good. So Sparky, my friend, thank you. Eduardo Camilo, thank you. Kelly McKinnon, ladies and gentlemen. K2Z, thank you. Pilgrim Media, Linda Hazlitt, and Soul76, thank you for your perspicacity, your kindness, and the like. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. There is a link at the top of the interview section, and I got a bunch coming tomorrow. I'm feeling the whatever this was, this febrility has since passed. Tomorrow morning, I will be absolutely 100%. Because remember, it's also interesting. I didn't eat for 2 days, and it's so interesting. Why is it that we don't eat when we are sick? Why? It's hormesis. It's autophagy. It's stressing your body to mend. Stressing your body. Think about this. You could be ravenous, but you're not. You can't move. And it's so, not only does a fever, does the flu put you into that, but it puts you into this kind of a zen, you're almost in a coma. It's fantastic. Carolina guy says, I know it's not Friday, but I came home and found my dog of 15 years passed away today. Off topic. Just sad. Carolina guy, let me tell you something, my friends. We are here for you. And we're going to send our love to you. Send your love to Carolina guy. Sparky says CIA is part of the Five Eyes, which along with Mossad is part of the WIB, the World Intelligence Blob. Soros is their associate and front man. When people point at Soros, they're pointing at WIB. Fascinating. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Let me also just say, and this is important, to our good friend, I want to say this about Carolina guy. A dog is, and I don't have a dog, so I, but you don't have. I mean, you don't have to have a baby to know that a mother's love for their child. You know what I mean? You don't. It's like when people say, "I only want to go to a female gynecologist." Well, does a male not understand? But anyway, so you don't have to have a dog to understand it. But they are something that are 100% unconditional love. And in the short amount of time that they live, 15 years, by the way, is a long time. But in the short amount of time that they live compared to others, they pack so much love into you that when they're gone, it's that much of a loss. And we are oftentimes physically in touch with the dead body of the pet. And that's another thing too. When your mother or father die, you may get the word, you leave the room, the people come in and they do all this stuff. You're not really there. You might, for example, if you're like an Orthodox Jewish, you might actually bury them on the same day, but it's a different story. And that's one of the things I found so horrible, is that you're physically in touch with. If you put a dog to sleep, which is another pain altogether, because then you have to rationalize. You hold it and you think, is this distrust or is this comforting? I don't know what's going on. It is, I want to say it's not worse than a child, but it's another world altogether. Sparky says the WIB's worthy gold is a borderless world, rather, run by a central authority. What could go wrong? And that, of course, is the New World Order, my friend. How do we say this? Let me just see. I'm losing my focus here. I've got a lot of different things here at the same time. I want everybody to send your thoughts of love to our good friend, and I mean that. I'm not a prayer person. I'm just not. Okay. I'm not. But what I am is I believe that you can actually send, it sounds crazy, thoughts and ideas and love. Oh, Victoria Bentley. Thank you, Victoria. She is a new member. So send it accordingly. That's all. Look at this. And dogs and cats are wonderful pets. Too many people equate them with human children, and that's wrong. It is wrong. It's a different thing. Funny you just brought up losing parents, because I lost my mom in August. I walked out of the hospital room. I came back and she passed. That's a you know what though? That is a very how do we say this? That's a very interesting thing too. I have a connection, a very strange connection, where I can see things and connect spiritually. I hate that word. I can't believe I said that, but I don't know, telepathically. I don't know what you want to call it, but I feel this connection. Remember, this is a spacesuit. We're this soul that's stuck in this meat skeleton, this thing. It's all it is. This is a spacesuit. And it combines us, and it allows us to be able to convey and do things. And when it dies and when it goes, that thing, you can call it the spirit, you call it whatever it is, but where does it go? It's like having a balloon and then filling up the balloon. And then when the balloon is flat or fat, what happens to the air? It's somewhere else. It doesn't go. It doesn't die. The shell doesn't look like much, but the air is gone. It's someplace else. That's all. Once you understand, that does nothing when you feel sad. That does nothing when you feel like you've lost. And also, you go through a period of time when you feel tremendous periods of guilt. I should have done this. I should have called more. I should have done that. And you will go through this. Like, why did I do this? Why didn't I understand? That's the way they were. I should have done more. I should have done more. That's why if your parents are alive now, make sure you call them every single day. Because trust me, there's going to be a day, if they're alive now, when you're going to say to yourself, you know what? I should have done that. I should have done that. So learn from other people. So in any event, dear friends, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So our dear friend, Mr. Carolina guy, our thoughts of you and for you. I could talk about this subject forever. And there is something about this notion of grief where, guess what? You're a human. What does that mean? Well, you have this thing called grief. It's a sense of loss. It's a sense of howling. And believe it or not, the only animals that we see or we know of that are similar to us in terms of grief is the cetacean genus. Bottlenose dolphins, whales, sperm whales, killer whales. They have a paralimbic system that is so much different from ours. And why? Because they feel loss worse than anything we do. Merry Christmas, Uncle Lenny and Mrs. L. Thank you, Tony Dash. Thank you so much for that. I was reading, but remember, did you ever see Blackfin? Oh my God. That was one of those movies that changed my life because I saw a lot of analogies of humans. When these killer whales had their children taken from them, there was this sound of a howl. There's a sadness. You could tell this, even though you don't speak whale, but you knew it. The sense of sorrow. When you hear levels and frequency of crying, you know that deepest, darkest, it's almost silent. That's why, believe it or not, in the last scene from Godfather 3, the worst, that mooch, that howl, that scream, the cry, that is almost the shriek. It's the highest form of absolute abject sorrow. It's the ultimate. There is no such thing as that for humor and laughing. There is no such thing. There is no such thing where you laugh so hard, part of you dies. In the howl, part of you dies. Call it universal innocence or whatever you hell, but part of you dies. You're not the same. You aren't the same because you've laughed. You might be more aware of stuff. Today, there was this incredible sense of appreciation for Norm Macdonald. I don't understand why they say he was as much of a genius as he was. He did some incredible things. But when I listened to him, I listened to what they were saying. It's like, are we going that crazy over Norm Macdonald? Which is, again, this is my opinion. He was very, very good. We're almost impressed more with his attitude and his rebelliousness than we are with his actual humor. Think about that one. That's all. In any event. So thank you. Have a great and a glorious day, dear friends. Don't forget, sign up for that newsletter. The link is there. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. She has a great video up about this rat bastard, Mike Johnson, and how he hates kids. Until tomorrow morning at 8, my friends, remember this simple word, very simple phrase, this very simple concept, this valedictory, this adios, this sayonara. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.